In the beginning of any journey, we often picture ourselves ticking off every goal, seeing all the places we've dreamed of, taking all the photos we've imagined, feeling everything we hoped to feel. But life rarely follows our script. Our dreams are just bookmarks on a page that has yet to be written. I recently embarked on a trip to the US, a 5,000 miles journey. That morning I woke up buzzing with excitement and a hint of stress. Grabbed my bags, jumped into a taxi, and off I went to Heathrow. From there it was an 11-hour flight to San Francisco. It was my first time in the US. I had no idea what to expect. And truthfully, I wasn't there for photography. The reason I was there isn't important for this channel. What is important is, no matter where I go, I always hope to grab at least one good photo. One photo I couldn't make anywhere else in the world. But I didn't have much time. I needed precision and a bit of luck. I was there for a week, a busy week, and in that week I only had one window to make that photo happen. What was that photo? A simple one really. A classic shot of the marvelous Golden Gate Bridge. Knowing that I would have almost no time for photography, I packed carefully. No bulky cameras or multiple lenses that would weigh me down and never get used. No video gear, just one camera and one lens. And for moments like this, my choice is clear. Light, compact, simple. For me, that's the Ricoh GR3X. I didn't even think twice. It slipped into a small pocket in my bag, always within reach, making my photography intuitive and effortless. I also packed 3 memory cards, just in case I had enough time for a proper photo walk, and of course a power bank, because the battery of the Ricoh GR3X wouldn't last forever. And that was it. I traveled 5,000 miles trusting this setup, knowing from past experiences that it would be enough. That's something I learned over the years. We don't need flashy gears to get meaningful photos. We need gear that we know and love. Gear that feel like an extension of our eyes. And of course, our passion to see the beauty in this world and translate it into a single frame. Looking back, I probably should have had a plan. I should have researched the best time to shoot the bridge, the best season, the best angles, the position of the sun. But the reality was different. I only had one chance to take the photo, Friday afternoon, less than 24 hours before my flight back. Even if I had known what was coming, it wouldn't have changed much. The scene would be the same, and I would still be there trying to take my photo. If you enjoy this story, hit the like button and consider subscribing with a bell. As I said, this was my first time in the US, let alone San Francisco, and there was so much to see and feel. I stayed in Redwood City, a smaller city outside San Francisco, bathed in warmth and sunlight, like a scene from a movie. You'd think that cities only 50 miles apart would share the same weather, but San Francisco has a soul on its own. In my time there, I learned that San Francisco during summer, it's often wrapped in fog, experiencing much lower temperatures than its neighbors. This mattered for my photography. The first shock hit as I was getting out of the taxi in Golden Gate Bridge. A cold, sharp wind slammed into me, freezing my fingers almost instantly. I instinctively lowered my head, shielding my face from the wind. Then I looked up and couldn't help but burst into laughter. I was standing at one of the most iconic viewpoints in the world, ready to see the magnificent bridge, and there was nothing to see. The entire scene was swallowed by thick, white fog. The bridge was gone. And for a moment, despite my love for fog, I felt disappointed. But disappointment only lasted for a moment, because I remembered why I do this. As photographers, it's not our job to control the weather or wait for the perfect sunsets. Our job is to find beauty in whatever the world gives us, in every light, in every condition. There is no bad light or bad scene. There is only the challenge of seeing differently. So I started photographing. I focused on the details around the bridge, the cables leading your eye into the mist, the shoreline with the waves crashing against the rocks. I framed the bridge behind cables and trees, letting it peek through the fog as a quiet promise rather than a grand spectacle. As I moved closer, the bridge began to emerge, faint and ghostly in the mist, becoming part of its environment rather than dominating it. We've all seen those classic scenes of the Golden Gate Bridge in clear skies standing mighty and otherworldly. But how often do we see it as is for many locals? A bridge people cross daily, heading home to family, moving through ordinary moments. I continued photographing, letting the red fence guide the eye through the frame, fading into the fog. I looked down, capturing the sea framed by the red rails of the bridge. I found the lamppost with birds waving through the haze around it. People appeared as small silhouettes framed naturally by the bridge's fences. I found a blue sign on the walkway and I placed my camera low, letting it dominate the foreground as people walked into the distance. I photographed a man taking a picture next to the thick cables disappearing into the fog, then focused on the cables themselves, capturing their bold red lines fading into the white abyss. The sea and shoreline below became a surreal backdrop, blending nature with human creation. Time was running out. The bridge was about to close and I was ready to leave. But then I noticed a family walking in the opposite direction. Among them, a little girl in a bright red jacket danced happily. For a split second, she moved in the center of my frame and I pressed the shutter. This photo to me says something important. We admire human achievements like this bridge. We marvel at the engineering, the ambition, the scale. But it's easy to forget how these wonders came to be. They started as dreams, built by people who faced setbacks and unexpected challenges, adapting along the way until one day those dreams became reality. In the same way I couldn't have predicted the photos I would take on this trip. I couldn't have planned for the fog or how it would completely hide the bridge. But if I had decided not to try because the conditions weren't perfect, none of these images would exist. And maybe that's the point of photography and travel and life itself. We can plan and hope, but we also have to embrace what we find and create with what we are given. We need to give ourselves the freedom to write our story as we go and to embrace the beauty in the uncertainties of life. Have you ever taken a photo that didn't go as planned but ended up being one of your favorites? What's the story behind it? I would love to hear it down in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button and consider subscribing with a bell. Now if you want to see how I take nice photos in small places, click and watch this video next. That was all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I will see you on the streets. Bye bye.